Hey everyone, I hope we're all doing good today. I did want to talk about a cool word that hasn't been like running my life, I guess, for a while, but it makes sense when you hear it. So the word is Ongaeshi, and it's a Japanese word, and it means to return the favor, or return a favor. I learned about this word my last year of college, and I absolutely love this word. It's actually one of my favorite words, and I always think about it because in life we are always trying to return a favor. And let me explain that. So let's just say, oh, well, I'm over here, I'm existing, and I'm being the best version of myself. Well, that is in essence returning the favor to your parents for raising you that way, or for putting you in a position to succeed, right? Or something even simple as, oh, you didn't bring $5 and you're really hungry, here's $5. Now that person who got the $5 is going to have a feeling of Ongaeshi. So they're going to want to find a way to return the favor in some way. It doesn't have to be the $5, but it could be anything, right? So that word comes from a story about a crane trying to help out a man who saved his life, who then turns into a human and ends up weaving silks and stuff like that to allow the old man to thrive and prosper and not worry about the burden of money. And that was the crane's way of returning the favor back to the old man for saving its life. Obviously, that's a very drastic example, and it's a folktale, so it's not exactly realistic, but the feeling and the idea is realistic. And the Japanese people have an ongoing sense of Ongaeshi just based off of their culture. And I think that's super interesting that an entire culture could be based off of a word, almost. And you can see this anywhere in their culture, specifically with gift giving in general. I wouldn't go as far as to say hoarding, but it's very difficult for Japanese people to give up something because everything has meaning, right? And we all know someone like that in our life where it's difficult to give them something because they're never going to give it up or get rid of it whenever it's been used, right? Like I said, Japanese people will hold on to these gifts for a very long time, if not forever. And the only way they'll give up these gifts is to give it to someone else who they feel like needs it more than them. So gift giving and then re-gifting those given gifts is a very popular thing that happens in the Japanese culture. Now, why am I talking about this and not getting to the point? First off, because I love Japanese culture and I think it's really interesting, and I want to educate you guys on it because I think if I find it interesting, it must be super interesting in general, right? Secondly, is because I have this feeling of Ongaeshi. And it's just a way I go about life. Because not that I feel the constant need to return a favor, but I love the idea of giving. I'm a very selfless individual, and I love helping people, right? So usually I don't even need that initial feeling of Ongaeshi to help, but it does help when I have that feeling, right? With that being said, something recently just happened to me where I've had this burden on me for a while, 5 years to be exact, of I will never be able to return this favor. Like, I will never be in a position where this specific thing will happen that I'm not going to go into, and I'll be able to help, and I'll be able to aid, and I'll be able to make things right, not just for myself, but for this person. And I was living with that for a while, and it's a difficult feeling, not being able to return that favor, It didn't hurt me, but it was just always there, you know what I mean? So, I was able to return it. And not that I was happy about it, because, if it's the same situation, it's not a good situation to be in, but I was able to make something right. And it led to a moment that I felt was necessary and important in my life. And I'm happier because of it, right? All that to be said, no one is telling you to return favors. No one is forcing you to return favors. But that burden might still be there. And you shouldn't beat yourself up over a burden that's there from, could be just days ago, months ago, or from my case, years ago. You shouldn't feel a need to give back. It should be genuine, right? And I learned that today. Not today specifically, but I'm going to say today in terms of timing. So for this video, I learned that today because it makes what you do all the much more sincere, or all the more sincere, when you're not doing it for yourself. And I think if we lived our lives in service of others more than in service of ourselves more often, we as a culture would be living a better life. And I think that's the message I want to leave for today. So I will see you guys in the next video. I have a good idea for the next video. It's not super drastic, but I think it's interesting, so I'm going to be working on that